I'm now going to complete the 7-step air brake test for a school bus. The bus is on. It is fully charged at 125 psi. I'm now going to switch the bus to the off position. Prior to the test, I have made sure that the wheels are choked so that the bus may not roll while I do this test. I'm now going to switch the bus to the on position without cranking the engine. My gauges should read 125 psi at fully charged. I'm now going to complete the leakage test. I'm going to release the parking brake. At this time, there will be an initial drop in pressure. I am then going to time for 1 minute by holding the service brake to test. There will be initial drop in pressure, but we should not have more. After the initial drop, we should not have more than 2 psi drop in 1 minute. Please time me. After 1 minute, I will tell the instructor that there was not more than a 2 psi drop in 1 minute. And that completes the leakage test. At this time, I'm now going to test to check my pressure warning system below 60 psi. I'm now going to fan the brakes to make sure that my alarm cuts off at 60 psi. My alarms have now engaged. At this time, I'm going to check for my emergency or my parking brake cut on. I'm now going to fan the brakes for that also. Once it drops below 40 psi, the parking brake should pop out. It has now engaged. I'm now going to switch the bus on to check and make sure that my air pressure is building up at the correct amount. Do this at an idle. Once the bus has reached 85 psi, I will time it for 45 seconds to make sure that within that 45 seconds I have reached 100 psi pressure. Don't worry, the alarms are annoying, but after 60 psi, they should cut off. One has not cut off, the other is not cut off. Once it reaches 85 psi, I'm not going to tell my instructor. I'm timing it for 45 seconds to make sure that I reach 100 psi. I will now begin timing. The bus has now reached 100 psi under the 45-second mark. I will now test my emergency brake. I will now test my RPM cutoff valve. I'm going to rev the engine to make sure that at 125, when the system is fully charged, that you will hear a psst sound. That is the cut on and off, the cut out valve. Listen carefully because it's going to be a psst sound. That was the cut in and out valve. I'm now going to test my emergency brake, or my parking brake test. At this time, I'm going to apply the service brake, shift to a low gear, and slowly engage the accelerator. If your parking brake is working correctly, the bus should not move. That completes the parking brake test. The final step in the air brake test is to check the service brake. At this time, I'm going to apply the service brake, shift to neutral, release the parking brake, shift back down, and I'm going to get up to 5 miles an hour. At 5 miles an hour, I'm going to gently apply the service brake. And that completes your 7-step air brake test. Shift to neutral, pull your parking brake, and shift the bus to the off position.